guys, for discount off of top quality football merchandise from Kitbag, please use our code and link in the description below, just for being a Blues Fans TV subscriber and an awesome Chelsea fan. Hey guys, and welcome back to Blues Fans TV. I am Sophie Rose. Now, I feel like this isn't a video I wanted to make, but I feel like everything needs to be addressed. We've had two very poor results. I think as Chelsea fans, we expect a really high standard, and that's not being shown on the pitch. Tactics are wrong. We've now tried, I feel sorry for Giroud for 1 minute. You know, he's the only player that's really giving us goals, and for the sake of us including the likes of Werner, and Tammy Abraham, he's being kicked out regardless. I don't feel that's the case. I feel Frank's always said that he plays players based on merit. I don't feel like that's happening with Giroud. I get we can't rely on one of our, oldest players to come in. We spent so much money on a new forward, on players like Havertz, trying to incorporate them into the team somehow. But I think we've realised now that Werner's season isn't going the way he wants it to go. He doesn't really fit that sort of outside position. I feel he needs to either play straight down the middle or not at all, because we've tried that now. He doesn't link up well with Tammy. We saw that in the Arsenal game. They couldn't link up well together, and a lot of that was Tammy's fault as well. I felt like a lot of the time he was running behind defenders. He should have been getting into space so that Werner could make that cross into the box. That wasn't really happening. They have no idea how to play together, those two. I don't feel like that's a partnership that will ever work. I feel like we've been a bit struck here because Ziyech has been injured for so long, and he, for me, has been one of our best signings, and I think he does link up well with Werner. If you look at our first game against Brighton, I think it was a friendly right at the start of the season, where the goal was him assisting Werner putting it in the back of the net, and that's exactly what we want to see, and we haven't been able to see that. But I think you do need to get the partnerships right. Werner and Tammy doesn't work for me. Werner playing in that slightly wing position doesn't work. He either plays straight down the middle for me or not at all. Obviously that is, I don't know how we would incorporate Giroud into that, but I feel like we've not got that final third sorted in terms of we've spent enough money. We've 100% spent enough money, and that's why I never get too excited about signings when we sign them from outside the Premier League, because it's so hard for them to come in and do a good job. Even Werner said he found it much more tougher. I don't know why these players don't understand how tough the Premier League is. It's always been that way, and they should do their research before they come. So I would actually like to see us sign players from within the Premier League that have proven Premier League experience. I'm not saying Ben's had the best couple of last games, but definitely I feel like he's done a better job than Werner or Havertz have done, and I feel that's because he's only got Premier League experience and played for a good team with Leicester for many years. So yeah, the tactics need to be sorted. They are 100% not working. I don't think even Frank knows what his best lineup is and what system to play, but that's something that he needs to figure out quick, because we're becoming too predictable for teams. We've now let in 4 goals in the space of 2 games. That for me is unacceptable. If you look at that El Ghazi goal for Aston Villa, I hope I've said his name right there is literally nobody marking him. I'm not sure whether that is, I think it was Dave playing on the right there, whoever was playing on the right. Number one, it's marking your player, not switching off. But secondly, you need to communicate together. Silva actually for the whole part has been a very good signing for us, and it's why we see him having the captain's armband. But I feel it's also his job, as well as Frank's, to get them to communicate better so that every player is man-marked, so that you don't have instances like that where the goalkeeper can't really do much about it. He should never have been left unmarked like that. There's so much space for him to then go and score, and we are too easy. We are too predictable. We're too predictable at the back, we're too predictable at the front, and teams are figuring out us a lot easier. And although I think Aston Villa, they give me a shock for the most part there. I easily thought we could have lost that game. I think the only thing we had in our defence was the fact that we were playing at home. But yeah, I don't feel like 4 goals in the last 2 games is acceptable to concede. Whether you win games or not, you always want to work on keeping clean sheets, and that's something that I find, is going to really turn our season if we don't get that. If we don't get those back 4, those back 3, depending on what system we plays, clicking, because we're seeing too many inconsistent performances there. And in number 3, then, my final point, we could go on and on and on about how our signings haven't come through for us. Havertz, for one, has been very, very disappointing from the get-go. I don't know why Mason's getting a bit of criticism. For me, he's been one of our our most solid players this season. You can feel free to disagree with me, but I think a lot of the times he's sort of saved our games. But we need to work on our finishing, and that is not just Giroud and Werner as our forwards. That's, for instance, Pulisic, who has more than enough quality in him. He had one complete sitter in the Villa game, and he just kicks it over the bar. That, for me, shouldn't be happening. Work on your finishing in training. Get these players to use some initiative. You know, you as a player that costs so much money, you should be putting that ball in the back of the net in that instant. And while I do think, you know, this is the one glimmer in that game was the flick from Giroud, and then the cross in from, I think it was Ben, wasn't it, for Giroud to get the goal, and that was fantastic. But, you know, Giroud's the only one who's playing well. He isn't one of our new signings. He isn't one of the players that we spent nearly 200 million on collectively. Why are these players not being able to do that? Are they not being, you know, directed in the right way? Are they not being managed properly? I don't know. I have faith in Frank Lampard as a manager. I just feel like he hasn't got the system right. In that Arsenal game, Giroud should have come on the second Werner went off. He should have been on the pitch, and I do believe we would have got a goal if Giroud was on the pitch, 100%. His stats are amazing. He has more than proven himself. Why he didn't get a look in that game, I'll never know. Frank obviously had other ideas, but I think those are the sorts of slip-ups as a manager you can't really afford. And while I think Frank has done very well, especially last season with the limitations that he had, I do feel as if he needs to get the system working. He needs to get these players motivated. He needs to get these players, you know, finishing. We have chances. We practically always walk the ball into the back of the net, or walk the ball into the box, sorry, and nothing ever comes from it because teams know exactly how to defend against us. You know, players need to start using their initiative and showing what we paid them for. And so far, I don't see the front three clicking, and I don't see any of the midfield players being able to put the ball in the back of the net, finish it, you know, how they should do. You know, a lot of our goals, for instance, have come from Zuma. It's just ridiculous. He's our defender. You know, whilst that's amazing and that's a good stat for him to have, I also want, you know, the front half of the pitch to be doing their job as well, and I don't feel like that's happening at the moment. So that's also something that Frank needs to address in training. I think just working on getting these players taking their chances and putting the ball in the back of the net. Anyway, guys, those are the 3 things that I think Frank needs to change. Comment below, let me know if there's anything else that I've missed. I'm sure there is. I'm sure everybody's got different ideas. Where would you like to see Werner play, if at all? Do you think Giroud has earned his place in the team? Would you like to see us try and get some points out of the money that we've spent this year by playing the likes of Werner and Havertz, even though they have not been up to standard, but maybe that's the position that he's been put in by the manager. Who knows? Anyway, guys, comment below, and obviously don't forget, you can still get discount off your Chelsea merch. There's a link in the description below. Oh, I got it right again. I'm so excited. Sammy will be happy with that. Yeah, comment below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, subscribe, and I'll be back into England soon, so hopefully I can be doing some videos outside the bridge. I hope everybody's safe and well during the virus. I know Boris is due to make more announcements, so please everybody stay safe, and I will see you all very soon.